Now on Coast TV News.
Watch for areas of dense fog this morning, then with summer-like warmth and humidity this afternoon, the possibility of strong to severe storms both today and tomorrow with a drier Sunday. Forecast details coming up.
Dewey Harbor dwelling, a familiar issue in a new town. Dewey Beach preparing to look at short-term rentals on houseboats.
Curfew clash after Rehoboth Beach police say they are seeing a big increase in criminal activity committed by teens. We look at the restrictions now being considered by the city.
Rocked by the hurricanes.
Shestakov with tough angle, he scores!
Game, set, and match on the Capitals season as the top seed in the East is eliminated in the second round.
This is Coast TV News Today.
It is Friday, May 16th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we have reached the weekend. It is here, or depending on how you define the start of the weekend. I always define it as Friday.
You do. Friday morning. I say once I get out of work. I really do. You got to get through the work day, and then I think it's the weekend.
But however you define the weekend, whenever that starts, Bob, I think we're looking at least for a wet start to the weekend.
Yeah.
I think so, and it's a foggy start before we even get to the possibility of wet. Elisa and Matt, good morning to you. We do have a dense fog advisory for Sussex County and the adjacent waters of the Atlantic and Delaware Bay. That's until 11 a.m. We're seeing some visibilities now that are improving. This is really crazy. We're seeing patchy, dense fog, but at the reporting sites, it looks like the visibility is about 6 to 8 or 9 miles, but there is dense fog out there, so watch out for that this morning. Otherwise, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, warm and muggy conditions. There is a front back to our west, and I'm looking into this area, the Ohio Valley, later for a cluster of showers and storms that could affect us into the afternoon hours with some big storms. Otherwise, we're looking at temperatures out the door in the low to mid 60s, and the winds for the most part are calm right now, but we have areas of dense fog. Pack your patience and drive with caution this morning as we have temperatures in the 60s. I think that fog does hang on through the mid-morning hours, and then by noon, increasing clouds, and we could see some showers as soon as a noon hour with temperatures around 80 in Millsboro, 85 in Salisbury, and then into the afternoon. Keep an eye to the sky. Make sure you have the Coast TV weather app for showers and storms that could get strong to possibly severe with maybe some hail and damaging winds, and that continues as we go through the evening hours. And then once the sun goes down, I think that activity will wane. But we've got the fog this morning, and then that storm potential this afternoon with summer-like heat and humidity. Another chance of storms into Saturday. I'll talk about the threat for severe weather coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Looking forward to that. Thank you, Bob. Let's check out some of what Bob may be talking about. We're getting a live look here at Salisbury, and you can see some of the fog. There's a little bit of fog. We are getting some reports of fog on the back roads, so keep that in mind if you're getting ready to head out the door this morning. Our top story this half hour, short-term rentals on houseboats. That was a big topic last year in Ocean City. Today, Dewey Beach officials are debating that. We did a check of Airbnb, and currently there are listings for these types of rentals. Town Manager Bill Zolper is set to lead the discussion on houseboats at Friday's Town Council meeting.
And in Ocean City, the company that attempted to have houseboat short-term rentals has been quiet since the town enacted an ordinance banning the use. Last June, it was approved by Mayor Rick Meehan and the council. Reasons cited for the ban were overcrowding of marinas, and another was safety issues. At the time, Sea Rocket CEO Will Wangle told Coast TV that if the town went through with this ban, he would look to pursue legal action.
Looking ahead in Ocean City, summer safety is in the spotlight. The Maryland Department of Transportation is launching the 2025 OC Walk Smart, Drive Smart, Bike Smart campaign as the beach season ramps up. Ocean City Mayor Rick Meehan and state highway officials will be at the Roland E. Powell Convention Center at 11 a.m.
Happening today, pushing back on what Rehoboth Beach officials say is an increase in teen delinquency. At the Mayor and Commission meeting, officials will discuss implementing a curfew for minors. This comes as they say there's been a 110% increase in teen charges over the past 3 years. Some locals support the possibility, while others say there are other solutions.
Protecting the elderly, because there's a lot of elderly people in Rehoboth. Mostly older people, and I don't think why should they have to worry about trouble?
I would want people to have the freedom to come to the beach and be here however long they want.
At a previous meeting, commissioners did mention how Rehoboth is the only beach town in the area without a curfew right now, so people may naturally come here to exercise more freedom. That discussion will take place at 2 p.m.
And also today in the nation's summer capital, city manager there could get a pay bump. Rehoboth Beach officials are considering that action based on Manager Taylour Tedder's performance evaluation. Now, you may remember Tedder was already offered a salary of $250,000 when he began work for the city in 2024. It did lead to some backlash, resulting in the Office of Delaware's Attorney General determining there were FOIA violations during the hiring process. A special meeting on the merit increase is scheduled for 10 a.m.
New this morning in Bethany Beach, town officials want to borrow money for a new water clarifier. Officials say they need almost $4 million for that project. There will be a special election for this referendum on May 24th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah, also at that meeting, officials there are considering pedestrian improvements. You can see the area that's a focus of it right now on your screen. This is Kent Avenue and Garfield Extension near Route 26. It's not clear what kind of improvements officials are looking at. The meeting takes place at 2 p.m. today.
Probation reform is back on the table in Delaware. State Senator Mary Pinckney reintroduced legislation aimed at modernizing Delaware's probation and parole systems. Senate Bill 7 and 8 would shift community supervision towards less restrictive conditions and allow for remote check-ins. Roughly a third of those under supervision in Delaware end up reincarcerated, often for technical violations, not new crimes. The bills are now headed to the Senate Executive Committee.
It's a story Capitol fans know oh so well. A great regular season ending in a playoff flameout. Last night, Caps lost Game 5 of the second round series against the Hurricanes by a 3-1 score. Well, more on the elimination loss later on CoastTV News Today.
And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. President Trump is headed back here after wrapping up a visit to the Middle East filled with big deals.
Yeah, while on his trip, the president pressed Iran on a nuclear deal and weighed in on talks underway to end Russia's war in Ukraine.
And while here at home, the ongoing battle over immigration reaches the country's highest court. The Supreme Court is hearing arguments over the president's plan to end birthright citizenship. NBC's Alice Barr shows us what could be next in both of these developing situations. And coming up after the break, we'll tell you about FEMA fears, the agency's concerns ahead of the start of the hurricane season.
And parking pressure ramps up. How Salisbury is preparing for a full welcome back.
And we're seeing areas of dense fog. We'll tell you more about that.
Just about 5:10 on this somewhat foggy Friday morning. Bay Health Cam in Milford 62, and you see areas of fog. Now, it's not everywhere, but we do have a dense fog advisory for Sussex County, Delaware Bay, and the Atlantic Ocean as well, where we could be looking at visibilities less than a half mile. Now, the official reporting stations are looking pretty good. That said, though, we are seeing areas of patchy fog, so be extra careful out there. Drive with caution on the roads. We are seeing clouds increasing as well. It's mild and muggy. There are storms to our north and west, especially across the Great Lakes. There could be a cluster that develops later and then brings us a possibility of strong to severe storms this afternoon. Out the door, it is mild and muggy with temperatures in the low to mid 60s. So there's the saying, pack your patience. You want to do that this morning. Dense fog in some spots, so leave extra time to get to your destination. I gave it the yellow light for the morning commute, and then for the PM commute, the yellow light for a different reason, for showers and storms. Some of those could contain hail and damaging winds. I'll talk about that a little more coming up a little bit later on.
Bob, Salisbury University is inviting the public to share ideas as it maps out its next 5-year strategic plan. 2 community listening sessions are scheduled for June 9th and 10th from 6 to 7:30 at the Purdue Hall's Bennett Family Auditorium. University leaders say public feedback will help share priorities through 2030. Admission is free and welcome to all.
Staying in Salisbury, parking enforcement returning to the city. It starts now through June 1st. The city will issue warnings, not tickets, for violation in all city-owned lots, streets, and facilities. This grace period is meant to educate drivers about rules like permit requirements and time limits. But beginning June 2nd, full enforcement and citations will resume. People in the city and businesses are being asked to update permit and vehicle info by then.
LEGO officially opened its new U.S. headquarters in Boston on Thursday. LEGO officially opened its store, and the company announced in 2023 that it was moving its headquarters from Onfield, Connecticut to Boston. That move is expected to be done by the end of next year, and LEGO employs about 3,500 people in the U.S.
Florida is now the second state to ban fluoride in public drinking water. On Thursday, Governor Ron DeSantis signed the Florida Farm Bill. The legislation bans the use of any additive in public water systems that don't meet the new definition of water quality additive. DeSantis said forcing fluoride into the water supply is basically forcing medication on people.
There are areas of dense fog across Delmarva. Not seeing it right now in Lewis on the Irish Eyes cam, but watch for fog this morning. Some of that pretty thick. Otherwise, we're looking at a mild and muggy day on the way for Delmarva. We do have the risk for seeing strong to possibly severe weather as we go into the afternoon, both today and then tomorrow as well. I'll talk about the risks of that and your weekend forecast coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
Time is 5:14. We're getting a live look here at Salisbury. Some hints of fog there on this Friday morning, Bob. And I know there are several folks making plans, gearing up to head across the Chesapeake Bay tomorrow for the Preakness.
Yes, the big race. Unfortunately, Matt, no Triple Crown this time, as the horse that won is not going to be running, Sovereignty. And we have the Preakness tomorrow. Post time is 7:01. You can see that here on Coast TV tomorrow. It is going to be a warm one there. Temperatures into the upper 80s, partly cloudy. And I think we do have a chance of some showers and storms, but the track will be in a lot better shape than it was for the Derby. It was a muddy mess, and tomorrow probably a lot better with just some scattered showers and storms. This morning we're dealing with fog, a dense fog advisory across Sussex County, Atlantic Ocean, Delaware Bay 2, and the inland bays. Watch for visibility less than a half mile. Right now, Georgetown, Salisbury, Ocean City, all reporting about 5 to 10 miles, but there are pockets where we are seeing some of that thicker fog. So watch for that. Drive with caution this morning. Otherwise, besides the fog, there are some clouds that are moving in. We have a stationary front back to the west, and there is a possibility of severe weather later, as there could be a complex of storms developing along and ahead of this front across the Ohio Valley. Already seeing some big storms up into Toronto, Canada, and Buffalo, and we'll have to see if some of these storms kind of sag to the southeast this morning and affect us this afternoon. Out the door, we're seeing temperatures in the low to mid 60s, 65 Indian River Inlet, 62 at Georgetown, Gumboro at 62, and the winds are light. So we're seeing the fog this morning. Might take a little while for it to burn off. By the noon hour, we're going to see some breaks, and I think we're going to be seeing some temperatures quickly warming into the 80s. And with that heat and humidity, some showers and storms this afternoon. Some of those packing a punch with heavy rain, gusty winds, and maybe some hail as well. Here's 3:30, maybe seeing some storms around Salisbury into the Berlin area, and that could continue till about 7 o'clock. And then I think once the sun goes down, we'll see the storms kind of fade out. Could be looking at another foggy start into Saturday morning. Winds picking up from the southwest and even warmer as we go into the afternoon tomorrow, with highs into the mid to upper 80s with a lot of humidity. This particular model not showing any storms, but the Storm Prediction Center has us in a slight risk for seeing severe weather tomorrow. So we'll have to monitor that. Otherwise, looks like things clear out as we go into Sunday with a northwesterly breeze, and it's cooler and drier heading into Sunday by noon. Look at this, breezy, very nice. Temperatures into the mid 70s. So we finally dry things out with lower humidity, and then looking at mid to upper 70s as we go into the afternoon hours. Today, there is that slight risk for seeing severe weather, primarily this afternoon and this evening, with large hail and damaging winds and main threat. And we do also have that slight risk as we head into your Saturday. Once again, the model's not showing those storms, but we definitely have a chance of seeing that. And definitely some heavy rain with some of these storms, maybe about a half inch to about 3/4 of an inch, maybe more under some heavier storms. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 85, watching for storms this afternoon and this evening. Still that possibility of storms Saturday, and very warm to almost hot, 88, and then Sunday 79, 78, heading into Monday. Tuesday 73, and look at this cool down, upper 60s by Wednesday and Thursday with a better chance of rain. Congratulations to Barbara Hansen from Lewis, winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
And as Bob mentioned, Saturday is the 150th running of the Preakness Stakes. I know a number of people from our side of the Chesapeake Bay will make that trip to Baltimore and take part in all of the festivities. And it will actually be the last Preakness at Pimlico Track. As we know it right now, it is scheduled to be a different location in Maryland next year as they rebuild this historic yet aging facility. CoastTV's coverage of Saturday's Preakness begins at 4 p.m.
Preparing for flooding, one photo at a time. Town of Milton and Flood Vision gave a presentation on how technology can be utilized to visualize flooding. Flood Vision uses a car with a camera to generate what a flooded Milton would look like and what impacts it could have. Coastal hazard specialist Danielle Swallow says resources like this helps bring awareness to the issue.
Seeing a representation of what that could look like, what the flooding could look like, how far it's going to go up a door front, whether it's going to cover, your commute route, really matters. And so people will be able to take away a lot more information through a photo.
And according to Flood Vision's data, 6,600 homes could be at risk of flooding in Sussex County by 2050.
And in related news, with the start of hurricane season approaching, June 1st, dark clouds are hovering over FEMA. A document obtained by CNN says the agency is struggling. They've had minimal coordination with states and new red tape that it says it will slow emergency responses. The Trump administration has repeatedly called FEMA ineffective and unnecessary. It has lost about 30% of its full-time staff since the start of the administration.
We had some technical issues earlier, so we now have that report about President Trump pressing Iran on a nuclear deal and weighing in on talks underway to end Russia's war in Ukraine.
And while here at home, the ongoing battle over immigration reaches the country's highest court. The Supreme Court is hearing arguments over the president's plan to end birthright citizenship. NBC's Alice Barr shows us what could be next in both of these developing situations.
President Trump wrapping up his Middle East trip this morning with a visit to an interfaith complex housing a mosque, church, and synagogue in the United Arab Emirates. That after the UAE president announced plans to invest $1.4 trillion over 10 years in U.S. industry, including energy and AI.
We will work very hard to deserve it. I have absolutely no doubt that the relationship will only get bigger and better.
It caps a week of deals in 3 wealthy Gulf states alongside diplomacy, pushing Iran to negotiate to abandon its nuclear program.
Iran has sort of agreed to the terms. They're not going to make, I call it in a friendly way, nuclear dust.
While agreeing to lift sanctions on Syria and pressing its president to normalize relations with Israel, all while weighing in on talks underway to end Russia's war on Ukraine.
Nothing's going to happen until Putin and I get together.
President Trump returns to the U.S. today as the Supreme Court begins considering his administration's case on birthright citizenship and the power of federal judges. In oral arguments Thursday, the court's conservative majority appeared open to the administration's argument that a single federal judge in one state should not have the authority to block an executive order nationwide, as has happened nearly 40 times this term, including on the president's effort to end automatic citizenship for children born in the U.S. whose parents are undocumented immigrants. On that critical point, the justices appeared skeptical given the Constitution's guarantee of birthright citizenship. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Coming up next, your cool things to do this weekend. From biking for a cause to pickleball and art by the beach, we've got your plans covered, so stay tuned.
As the weather warms up, more motorcyclists are hitting the roads on Delmarva. State and local leaders are coming together in Salisbury to highlight efforts to protect riders and drivers. MDOT reports that nearly 80% of fatal crashes involving motorcycles have been between May and October. Salisbury City Councilwoman April Jackson says she recently lost a friend in a motorcycle crash.
Proceed with precaution, pay attention, don't drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs or anything. Just be cautious, stay focused and alert about what you're doing when you're doing it, because that drive or that ride depends upon you.
And officials say so far this year, 13 people on motorcycles have been killed on Maryland roads. One of those deaths was in Wycomico County. And Matt, yesterday afternoon, it was sunny one second, then it was pouring. And so if you went to the beach, a little risky.
Yeah, just watching it, the sun would be out. Then this
Yes.
huge downpour happened. More
Yes.
sun, more rain. But it was just hard to keep track, or just very confusing Thursday.
Confusing is definitely
And
the
we
word.
still have that wet weather heading into Friday, too.
I know. If you don't like the weather, just wait a few minutes, right? That's what we had yesterday, and I think we'll be doing that again as we go through today, guys. We're looking at dense fog advisory, Sussex County, but also Delaware Bay, the inland bays, and the Atlantic Ocean until 11 a.m., so watch for limited visibility. Otherwise, Fenwick Island and Ocean City, we're in the 60s to lower 70s today. I think we're mainly dry, but still that chance of a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. Could be a little stormy in Lewis later on and wet in Rehoboth with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Lower 80s in Cambridge today, watching out for storms there, and a storm chance in Crisfield as well. Temperatures into the upper 70s. Another storm threat on Saturday, finally starting to dry out by Sunday. More in your forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Bob. And from canvas to coastline, this weekend is packed with ways to explore and play.
Yeah, Coast TV's Christina DiRobertis has your cool things to do.
The best weekends are the ones where you can have some fun and do some good, and that's exactly the case with Saturday's Meals on Wheels event. Wheels for Meals is back, inviting bike riders of all ages to pedal through Sussex County, all while supporting local seniors. The event starts and ends at Hudson Fields in Milton. You can set sail into local history at Lightship Overfalls and Canal Front Park in Lewis Saturday for Maritime Day. Celebrate the sea, the stories, and the spirit of the region. Get ready for a day of pickleball and pickle drinks at Milton's Dogfish Head. The parking lot will be transformed into a pickleball court from 11 to 6 p.m. on Saturday. In Rehoboth Beach, Grove Park turns into an open-air gallery Saturday from 10 to 5 for the Rehoboth Beach Art Festival. Local and regional artists will showcase and sell their original work. And you can check out CoastTV.com for all the details. Just look under Cool Things to Do.
Now on Coast TV News.
Watch for areas of dense fog this morning, then with summer-like warmth and humidity this afternoon, the possibility of strong to severe storms both today and tomorrow with a drier Sunday. Forecast details coming up.
Minor mayhem measures. After Rehoboth Beach police say teen criminal activity is on the rise, we look at the curfew under consideration by city officials.
Short term on the shore, houseboat vacation lodging gets a review today in Dewey Beach.
Big move for brews. The new bill in Delaware's General Assembly that could allow for changes to Sussex County's breweries.
This is Coast TV News Today.
May 16th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
We're hitting 5:32 on this Friday morning, and we just cannot shake this stretch of wet weather.
We cannot, and I know you're thinking about going to a Shorebirds game tonight.
I was hoping to get that in.
I would definitely bring a rain jacket, maybe bring an umbrella because it could be sunny.
And then, grilling somewhere on the agenda on the weekend.
Absolutely. I mean, Bob, Matt has big plans.
I got
You
plans,
need to figure
Bob.
this out.
Boy, the weight of the world, I feel it. Yeah, Matt, it's good morning, guys. Yeah, we are looking at that chance of showers and storms, I think, this afternoon and evening, both today and tomorrow. So keep an eye to the sky. We have fog as a hazard this morning. Dense fog advisory, Sussex County, Delaware Bay towards the Atlantic Ocean, inland bays too. Some visibilities less than a half mile, but most reporting stations are looking good right now. But that said, drive with caution. Use a low beam headlights. We've got the fog and some clouds moving in too. We're dry this morning. Had a few showers off the coast. I am watching across the Ohio Valley for a complex of storms developing maybe a little bit later this morning and then drifting to the south and east, possibly giving us severe weather this afternoon. And it's mild out the door, temperatures in the 60s, and we're looking at calm winds. So the fog still hanging on this morning, breaking up later this morning. And then with afternoon heating, we're looking at 80s inland areas, showers and storms, maybe some gusty winds, damaging winds, hail. And definitely watching for that as we go through the evening hours with that threat for severe weather. Looks like it quiets down after sunset. Bus stop forecast, foggy for the kiddos. Off to school, 62, and then that potential for showers and storms this afternoon. Make sure they have an umbrella and watch out for lightning and 82 degrees.
Thank you, Bob. And we have been tracking the foggy conditions outside. We're going to take a live look outside right now at the canal in Lewis. As you can see, a couple of clouds, but the visibility, it's looking pretty good there. As always, just be careful as you drive into work this morning in case there is any of that patchy fog that Bob was talking about. And our top story this half hour, Rehoboth Beach City Manager could get a pay bump. Rehoboth officials will consider the idea based on Manager Taylour Tedder's performance evaluation. You may remember Tedder was already offered a salary of $250,000 when he first began working for the city back in 2024. Challenging the employment agreement with Tedder, claiming it violates Delaware's Freedom of Information Act, saying the hiring process was secretive and that Tedder doesn't meet the required regulations. A special meeting to discuss this is today at 10 a.m.
And we're going to stay in Rehoboth Beach for this next story. City officials say there is an increase in teen criminal activity. Now there is a discussion of implementing a curfew for minors. According to an ordinance under review, there has been a 110% increase in teen charges over the past 3 years, and at a previous meeting, city commissioners claimed Rehoboth Beach is the only coastal community without a curfew. That discussion on this takes place at 2 p.m.
Short-term rentals on houseboats. It was a big topic last year in Ocean City, and today Dewey Beach officials are debating that. We did a check on Airbnb, and currently there are listings for these types of rentals. Town Manager Bill Zolper is set to lead this discussion on houseboats at today's Town Council meeting.
This just in, we're getting information about a bill that was introduced on Thursday in the Delaware House of Representatives dealing with microbrewery ownership. It gives the owners of these businesses some options. They can hold 3 licenses, 2 used for breweries or 2 for brew pubs. Currently, only 1 brewery license is allowed. We're expecting a hearing in the House Economic Development, Banking, Insurance, and Commerce Committee on this.
New this morning in Bethany Beach, town officials want to borrow money for a new water clarifier. Officials say they need almost $4 million for that project. There will be a special election for this referendum on May 24th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Happening this morning, Maryland Governor Wes Moore is set to deliver another commencement address. He's visiting the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. This comes only a short time after he spoke at the Lincoln University commencement in Pennsylvania. This address in Princess Anne takes place at 10 a.m.
And new overnight, a new customer report on the Consumer Sentiment Index comes out today. Many economists predict a rebound after 4 months of tumbles.
New index measures how Americans feel about the economy. Amy Kiley shows us what that could mean for your wallet.
If Walmart has to raise prices, everyone's going to raise prices.
Despite some grim news for American consumers, the economy is showing signs of hope. In a new report, the United Nations downgrades its forecast for GDP growth. It now predicts 2.4% globally and 1.6% in the U.S. this year. The good news is growth is still growth. Meanwhile, Walmart says its, quote, everyday low prices are going up on some items.
You're going to see price increases for some products. Other products, the cost increase will be absorbed at the source.
Walmart gets most of its food products domestically, so tariffs affect those less. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports egg prices are improving.
Everybody had eggs for Easter at a very reasonable price.
An inflation gauge called the Producer Price Index is down month over month, and experts say lowering tariffs on Chinese imports helps inventory levels.
If we had continued on that track, we would have had empty shelves. So now the question, of course, is lowering to tariff enough to prevent empty shelves?
The Federal Reserve Chair says he's still concerned about the supply chain and inflation. He says interest rates could remain higher over the long term.
We may be entering a period of more frequent and potentially more persistent supply shocks, a difficult challenge for the economy and for central banks.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Got a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, progress against period poverty. We'll tell you about the new resource available in Salisbury.
Also, Canes and Cap season. The captain, Alex Ovechkin, talks about the missed opportunities after his team was eliminated in the playoffs.
And Spill reroutes road. We'll show you how crews say this disaster happened. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
5:40 on this somewhat foggy Friday morning. Spicer Brothers Camp showing the fog and haze as we're looking at Siegel Stadium in Salisbury. 62, mild and muggy, dense fog advisory. Sussex County back towards Delaware Bay, the ocean and the inland bays as well. Watch for visibility less than a half mile at times. The reporting station showing good visibility, but we are seeing those pockets of dense fog, so watch for that as we go through the morning hours, at least the next few hours. Otherwise, hazy sunshine as we go through the morning. Could see some storms developing towards to north and west that could be heading our way as we go into this afternoon. For your golf game this afternoon, not great. We're still in the fair category. It's still wet and muggy, and watch out for scattered showers and storms. Some of those could be strong to severe this afternoon. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
New this morning, this is a scene from a fuel spill Thursday near Route 24. According to the Millsboro Fire Company, a truck overturned, causing the fluid to leak out onto the road and grass. DelDOT says Laurel Road was closed between Curley Road and Substation Road for some time, launching a detour for drivers. That crash happened around 3 p.m. Thursday afternoon.
The Chesapeake Marshlands National Wildlife Refuge Complex asking for public feedback on proposed outside research. It could lead to allowing qualified researchers from agencies, universities, and the public to conduct studies as long as they don't disrupt wildlife or habitats. Public comments are accepted through June 2nd.
Lewis is setting sail into its storied past this weekend at the annual Maritime Day celebration. Canal Front Park and the Lightship Over Falls will host free exhibits, boat rides, and tours. Highlights include a visit from the Coast Guard, Cutter Heron, and a look at working pilot boat. The president of the Over Falls Foundation spoke with Coast Life and how the event honors Lewis's deep maritime roots.
Well, the Congress made National Maritime Day May 22nd in the 30s. But we have such a strong maritime history in Lewis that we decided we should have our own Lewis Maritime Day.
And this is taking place tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Yes, regular season finale up at Sussex Academy in boys lacrosse last night. Let's roll the tape. Boys lax action in the Henlopen. You got the Buccaneers taking on the Seahawks. Sussex Academy going to play in the Henlopen title game against Cape. Meanwhile, Milford are going to finish the year above 500. It's already 1-0. Gideon Simmons fighting through the defense. Good use of the swim dodge, and he buries a goal. It's 2-0 Sussex Academy. Milford responding shortly thereafter. This is Ty Mackert with the tally. Now down 3-1. Milford still generating some offense. Chase Reisinger makes it 3-2 after one. We head to the second. It is Reisinger again. Bringing out the pass cross field and slots it low and in to knot the game up at 3. Academy would respond. A goal from Benjamin Warren to make it 4-3 Hawks. Still in the second. SA up 5-4. Ashton Fury. It's a fitting name because he buries this one with a vengeance. Milford now up 6-5. And Mackert's doing his thing offensively, feeding his buddy Reisinger for the easy tally on the doorstep. He put a little mustard on that one. Behind the back, 7-5 Milford ahead, and the Buccaneers would go on to win this one. 13-8 over Sussex Academy. They finished the regular season 8-7, while the Seahawks go on to play Cape Henlopen in the title game this weekend.
And coming up tonight on DSN, it is the Henlopen Conference Softball Championship game. We have that live when Cape takes on Lake Forest. Then at 10:30, it is the final score. Let's check out the DSN Plus app. Along with that championship game, you get Sussex Central softball team traveling to Delaware Military Academy for a game at 4. Punch of the gut ending to the season for the Capitals last night. Carolina's Andrei Shnestakov from the angle gets it past Logan Thompson with under 2 minutes remaining, breaks a 1-1 tie. Hurricanes with added empty netter. Capitals lose 3-1. And the second round series 4-1. Here's the captain.
We have our chances, so we just, maybe don't execute. Maybe luck was not our side because I don't think we play bad hockey. I think, we have lots of great chances to get the lead, but it's tough.
Yeah, it was tough, especially for the Capitals offense. They scored only 7 goals in the 5 games against the Hurricanes. Top-seeded Caps ousted in the second round.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Not looking too foggy right now on the tidal health cam in Salisbury. That said, though, areas of Delmarva seeing some of that thick fog, 62, and we are looking at a mild and muggy day for Delmarva. Could see some rounds of showers and storms. Could be strong to severe both today and Saturday, but drying out heading into your Sunday. I'll have your full forecast coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
The time is now 5:48, and we are taking a live look outside at Milford this morning. On this muggy morning, Bob, you were saying it's going to feel a little muggy today. On and off rain, maybe some sunshine. Hard to tell.
You know, the unofficial start to summer is Memorial Day, Elisa, and it's going to be feeling like it today and tomorrow. And it's muggy this morning. We have areas of fog, not too dense, not widespread, but still dense fog advisory, Sussex County, Atlantic Ocean, Inland Bays, and Delaware Bay as well. Right now, visibility not bad in Salisbury, Ocean City, and Georgetown. Looks like northern Sussex County. Looks like it's a little thicker, and then maybe heading up towards the Dover area, maybe some thicker fog there. So watch for those pockets of fog this morning. Otherwise, we're looking at some mid to high level clouds building in. The fog will burn off here the next couple of hours. We do have a stationary front to our west, and I am concerned about some severe weather this afternoon. Will it happen? That's kind of the million-dollar question. We're seeing some storms now around Buffalo, also in the Ohio Valley. We'll have to see if there's a complex that develops in this area around Cleveland, Cincinnati, and then dives to the southeast this afternoon. If that's the case and that does happen, we definitely could be seeing some strong to severe storms. It could happen. It may not happen. We're looking at temperatures in the low to mid 60s out the door right now. It definitely has that muggy feel with the winds pretty much calm. So this morning we've got the fog dense in some places. Temperatures in the 60s, quickly warming into the 70s mid-morning, and then by noon some 80s showing up from Seaford to Salisbury. And with that, we'll have to watch to the northwest for showers and possibly some big storms. It's kind of a 50-50 chance. Maybe some storms around Georgetown around 2 p.m., 78. But 80s inland, it's going to be very warm and muggy with 60s and 70s at the coast. Then as we go deeper into the afternoon, more widespread showers and some of those storms once again packing a punch if they develop with some hail and maybe some damaging winds. So keep that in mind, not only this afternoon, but it's early this evening. I think after sunset, the storm should settle down. And then moving into Sunday morning, we see a southwesterly flow. It's mild and muggy once again. And then we're looking at a breezy Saturday morning with clouds clearing out and the fog too. By the afternoon, this model's showing clear skies with temperatures in the low to mid 80s. I don't know. We have a cold front that's moving in, and I think there is a possibility of storms into the afternoon. So this is kind of strange that we're just looking at clear skies, but it's going to be warm to hot with mid to upper 80s Saturday afternoon and 70s at the beach as we're watching for that storm threat into Saturday evening. And then Sunday, winds turn to the north and west, and it's breezy and it's drier heading into Sunday afternoon, and temperatures only into the 70s. Slight risk of severe weather for today and tomorrow for Delmarva. That means we could see some hail and damaging winds. Make sure you have the CoastTV weather app to keep you updated on possible warnings. And as far as rain chances, maybe another half inch or so of rain, maybe a little more if you get under some of those heavier storms the next 2 days. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 85 today with the storms, 88 on Saturday, and then cooling down Sunday and Monday into the upper 70s, lower humidity as well, and then even cooler after that. Tuesday 73, and then only upper 60s with more rain by Wednesday and Thursday, and cooler overnight lows into the 50s.
Thank you, Bob. Thursday was a day of remembrance at the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office. It was National Fallen Peace Officers Memorial Day. The Sheriff's Office and the Salisbury Police Department held a joint event. The agencies honoring Salisbury Police Officer Henry Stevens, Wicomico County Deputy Albert Kelly, Wicomico County Sheriff Samuel Graham, and Wicomico County Corporal Glenn Hilliard. All four made the ultimate sacrifice protecting this community.
These are days, in addition to Officer Henry, but the other officers mentioned, it's an opportunity to reflect and remember those folks that paid that ultimate sacrifice.
At the event, elected officials and county executives presented citations marking National Police Week.
Sheriff Mike Lewis says this was the first public event at the new Wicomico County Sheriff's Office. The new $40 million state-of-the-art facility officially opened last month. After the ceremony, the sheriff gave members of the public a tour, including the dispatch center, workout space, and the emergency operations center. Sheriff Lewis says an official open house is being scheduled for September in Wicomico County. And new this morning, fighting period poverty in Salisbury. That is when women do not have access to safe menstrual products. And Salisbury says 1 in 8 women are living with this right now. The Wicomico County Commission for Women has set up the first pink pantry on the Eastern Shore, a place to get these products for free. The resource is located at the Newton Street Community Center in Salisbury.
If you're in need of a furry friend, now's the time to adopt. That's because right now, the Brandywine Valley SPCA is holding a special from now until Sunday, May 18th. Any adult dog, 30 pounds and up, you can get that a $25 adoption fee. This will take place at any Brandywine Valley SPCA campus.
And speaking about pets, the time is now 5:53, so we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day, as it is on Fridays, comes to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. Check out Moxie, everybody.
Aww.
The BV SPCA says this younger adult dog is very pretty and just ready for her forever family to adopt her. So if you want to adopt Moxie, you can just head on over to the BV SPCA.
And of course, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
That's where the QR code is. Scan it. You can get your friends to us and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 5:56. We're going to take another look at your forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, Bob, we are heading into the weekend
Yes,
with
we are.
some humidity.
Oh.
Boy, you know, when summer officially starts here in several weeks, but it's going to be feeling like it today, guys, and tomorrow with temperatures in the 80s. So take caution in the heat. Watch for morning fog, otherwise sun and clouds, and we are watching for that potential of afternoon storms. Some of those could pack a punch, damaging winds and some hail as well. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, 85 and stormy today this afternoon. Still another chance of some storms into Saturday, 88, and then cooler on Sunday, lower humidity, upper 70s into Monday. Then even a bigger cool down after that as we see rain again middle part of next week with temperatures into the upper 60s. So a nice cool down after this warm stretch and overnight lows dipping into the 50s. And then right now, next weekend, looking pretty pleasant, dry. Temperatures in the 70s for highs and overnight lows in the 50s and 60s.
All right, thank you, Bob. Coming up in our next hour, teen crime crackdown, the curfew that's under consideration by Rehoboth Beach officials. That and more as we continue with Coast TV News Today.